I'm Hennis. This is the ArmHug podcast, and I'm here with Sabrina from Herway Training Institute. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about a new program that she's launching. Sabrina has a lot of experience in products and on social media. So I will put all of your social media here below so that people can take a look at some of your amazing new programs and amazing new testimonials. We might see them more on this channel. I don't know.
Love it.
So talk to me. Tell me a little bit more about this program.
So we here at Herway Training Institute, we have actually helped certify over 200 women in the last 2 years in either phlebotomy, medical assistant, or EKG.
Wow.
One of the main things that we were always getting asked, or main questions we're always getting asked is, do you do mentorship? And it's very hard when it's just one person, me, trying to do one-on-ones with over 200, 300 people. So what we did was we created a community. And the community is called HSA, which is Healthcare Student Association. And it's really for anyone that is thinking of entering into the medical industry with a certification or anyone that currently holds a certification. And what we try to do is we try to help you understand different ways that you can take your certification and turn it into six figures, whether that's through different ways of passive income, like medical carriers or home healthcare agencies. Or if you wanted to go out and become a mobile phlebotomist, we wanted to give you your scripts, your some contact information of people that you can contact or labs you can contact and get the connections that you need. So that's why we created the mentorship and the community, but it really was because we wanted to have one common place where you can have all the tools and resources that you need at your fingertips.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. I think that the fact that you are already thinking what people are thinking outside the classroom, like what's next? So I might need a reference for supplies. I might need a reference for a coach because now my business is growing, right? One thing that I think you talked about was how your mentorship wasn't solely one-on-one. Can you talk a little bit about why?
Because community is really, really important. We have a community of people that have over 10 years of experience, and then we have people that are just getting started. And we can all learn from one another. We can learn from the people with 10 years of experience, and we can also learn from the people that's just now entering into the industry.
Mm.
And what I learned about the community is when we do these courses, because some of the things that we do is once a month we get together on a Zoom and we kind of just talk about, different ways that we can grow, and they actually are learning from one another.
Mm.
So to be a part of a community where it's like, hey, here's my brick, here's your brick, and we're actually building together, you actually get there faster.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a classroom experience. So do you need to go to any certain location? Is this online only?
It's 100% online. And the reason why we made it online is because we wanted it to be available to everyone. So no matter what state that you're in, you're able to join the community. No matter if let's say you have a Sunday and you have some downtime, then everything that you need is at your fingertips. So all you have to do is log into the class, and all of the replays of the classes are there. All of the PDFs are there. You can pretty much learn at your own pace.
Yeah. I think that's probably the most important because a lot of people forget that people might have a job and they're starting this,
Right.
is that something that you recommend or is that something you've seen a lot?
I have, and I do recommend, I always recommend to my students that you take the first 6 to 9 months, even if you wanted to dedicate a year to working, learn the industry that you want to master.
Mm.
A lot of the things that I know now, I got this information from jobs, from being hands-on, working at a job, doing different things at a job. The customer service part, I learned from a job. So it's so much that you can learn from a job, but not only that, what I realize about my students as they are growing their business is when they have jobs, it takes away the financial pressure. and they're able to make really, really good decisions because they don't have to worry about how am I going to get fed tonight, or I'm going to lose my house because I don't have any customers.
Yeah. Right. Because then it's like a dead end, right? So you don't have those customers and you also don't have money coming in.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I think of a lot of like some horror stories, right? But instead of working on, we're talking about the discouraging parts of it. What is something that you feel that a lot of your students come into these mentorship or might come into your mentorship program and have questions about? Like, do they get to pick the mentor or is the mentor only you?
So actually, we have guest experts every single month. And what we do is, what I've done for my community is I say, hey, what are some things that you want to learn? What are some things, or what is a stream of income that you're interested in starting? Because I want to go out and I want to find the best of the best to teach my community how to be the best. So, for example, in the month that we currently had, we did everyone wanted to open up a home healthcare agency. So it's a non-medical home healthcare agency. And a lot of people didn't know that, like in certain states, you don't even need a registered nurse to be your admin. For example, in the state of South Carolina, you do not need a registered nurse to be your admin. You can be your own admin. Well, I found an amazing expert that I've actually had several conversations with, and she's helped my other students out before, come in and talk to everyone in the mentorship and tell them how they can start their own non-medical home healthcare agencies. And we'll do the same thing for medical carriers. We'll do the same thing for paramedical examiners. We'll do the same thing for mobile phlebotomists. So it's all about what the community needs and then me finding everything that they need and having it at their fingertips.
And so I guess now looking into the qualifications. So who can do this program? Are there any limitations? Like, is having not 3 hours a week, a limitation? Is worrying about, you have to pick up your kids after work, because it's at a certain time limitation. So talk a little bit about the flexibility.
So we try to make it as flexible as possible. All of the courses are held in the evening times. We are on Eastern Standard Time. But if you're not able to make a class, we do provide you with the replay. So we wanted to make sure that our community had no excuses on why they couldn't learn. So everything is at your fingertips. So if you missed a live class, we will actually upload the replay and you'll be able to go back and watch the replay. If you have any questions, you can comment in our community dashboard any questions that you may have, or you can send me an email, and I usually respond back within 2 to 4 hours, answering all of the questions. We also have a way where we have, let's say we'll do a survey, and I'll say, hey, who has filled out their CLIA form? And if 60% or 50% of my people have not filled out a CLIA form, we'll do a live class in the evenings. I'll let them decide on the time as a group, and we will fill out the CLIA form together. So we try to
Wow.
make it as flexible for the working 9 to 5, the moms, as much as possible, with evening courses, 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
And then I guess a little bit of a tougher question. When can they start seeing the results? Or do you talk about the mindset and, how not to like judge yourself against your peers, success, or what is success? Like maybe writing down what are your 3 goals and then seeing which ones are long-term and short-term.
I think the first thing I always tell them is comparison is the thief of joy. So do not compare your 1 year to someone who has been in this industry for over 10 years. I want you to do this at your own pace, which is why it's considered an at your pace mentorship. And then I also want you to unlearn any poor mindset decisions that you have made in the past or you're currently having right now. So your results will solely depend on you and your work ethics and how much you're willing to believe in yourself. Believe it or not, the only thing that's stopping any of my students that I've ever seen is two things: them and their confidence in themselves. So I will have a 21-year-old, which I do have, enter into the mentorship, and her confidence is here. She doesn't have a lot of experience, but her confidence now has her making $12,000 a month.
Wow.
Those are my babies, by the way. um, so it's all about you and it's all about your mindset. And if you stop telling yourself that you can't do something before you actually try to do it, then I do think you will succeed in 3 to 6 months. But it's all about you and you stopping yourself. So a lot of times it's just us getting in our own way, self-sabotaging, telling ourselves we can't do something. Oh, I can't do anything because I have 3 kids. Well, I actually have several students that have over 5 children that have taken our phlebotomy program and are now making really good money.
Yeah, you see, it can be done, right? I think that that's something that people are talking about a lot is speaking up and saying that it can be done. Or if you've done it, talk a little bit about it. But do you think a lot of people don't want to talk about it because maybe they don't want to be famous or they don't
um,
want
After seeing so many people go viral, I do think that it is a fear, but I do applaud the people that do talk about it because it encouraged people. It shows them like, hey, if she can do it, I can do it too. So I'm
right?
always telling my students, if you follow my TikTok, I'll post a lot of my students and they'll talk about how, they have children and they have 9 to 5 jobs, and they still were able to complete my phlebotomy or medical assistant program. I have women over the age of 50 taking my medical assistant program,
Wow.
determining like, hey, this is just a new chapter for me. Nothing's going to stop me. So I do applaud the people that share their story because it actually encouraged other people that, hey, I can do it too. But if you decide that you don't want to tell your story, that's okay. But either way,
Yeah, that's amazing too to think about what's next. You build your business, right? But can you build it to retire? Or do
right.
you want to start your second career? I know someone who wants to leave a legacy, so she kind of wants to pass it on to her kids. Are those things you guys talk about?
We do. We talk about what is the exit strategy for your job? What does scaling look like for your business? And what is your retirement plan looking like for you? A lot of things that I feel is a left out conversation for entrepreneurs. They're always like, oh, start your own business. Okay, start your own business, but what about retirement? Because eventually you're going to want to retire. What does that look like for you? Do you have a IRA Roth program in place? Do you have anything, even if you just start with a high yield savings account?
Hmm.
So you can put $25 aside in a high yield savings account. There's some high yield savings account that starts off at 5%. So what does that look like for you to even exit your business? What does it look like for you to exit your job? What's your exit plan for both things? Those are conversations that we do have.
Yeah. And I think that's important to talk about it. Like no one ever talks about like, okay, so what happens like when I can't function as well as like I thought I could cognitively, physically, I'm older now and I need to move on from my business, but I know people are just getting started, but having an exit strategy, you can reverse engineer and say, okay, so I need to be here by this point, and if I'm not, I need to pivot or because you're not going to be working forever.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. Do you guys work with, I guess, folks that can help with business plans? Because you said you have like guest lecturers. Are they going to help with like the business plan or insurance part? Because I hear a lot of questions about that.
We do. We actually just did a class the other day about insurance because a lot of people, especially mobile phlebotomists, they're not aware that there are different types of insurance that you can have. So there's omission insurance where it will help protect you if you make any type of errors. And as a mobile phlebotomist, you do a lot of paperwork, and as a human, you're going to make errors. So how are you covered? Then there's malpractice insurance that you should have. So I actually just did a class and once again recorded the class, uploaded it to your dashboard. So if you were wondering what type of insurance you should have, I tell you the different types of insurance, and then I also provide you with the links so you can go do a comparison of the prices.
Yeah, no one talks about the insurance part enough because it is a third party like that's supposed to help you, and sometimes they can't even answer the questions because you're supposed to know. Um, I get so many questions about like where do we look it up? Is there a place to look it up? Where are the resources? And I was like, a mentor is going to be your best first step to find that. So definitely do your research. Um, what are your thoughts on bad actors? I have been recently reached out by someone who, unfortunately, there was someone acting as a mentor or a coach and telling everybody that she's helped people earn a lot of money as a business owner, but she herself wasn't a business owner. And, the comments were sketchy, the conversations were sketchy. And how do you help people not fall into that trap?
One of the things that a mentor said that I loved was, once again, going back to a mentor that said this, um, if you use cheese, you will attract rats, right?
Mm,
So anytime somebody is telling you something about all the money
yes.
that you can make, I certainly think that's a red flag because nobody's talking about the work that you have to put in. And as a business owner, you will know you will probably lose more money in the first year than you actually make, unfortunately. And I have to be honest, I'm very honest with my mentees, and I tell them it takes money to make money. And that's why I'm telling you to keep your job for at least a year so that you can have some type of funding coming in just in case you don't make the money that you are looking to make in your first or second year. So I would say, first of all, the students will tell for themselves. Real students will show up for their mentor. So anytime you see any community or any type of platform that I'm on, most of the time in my comments is my community. These are women that I have personally helped. They will vouch for me. They will communicate and say they recommend. A lot of people find me from other people that I've helped.
Yeah.
Um, Also, another thing is there's nothing wrong with you asking the person that you're, I like to say, interviewing the mentor to make sure it's a good fit. I am not a good fit for people that like to have a lot of one-on-one conversations,
Right.
primarily because I believe in work-life balance. And it is, I have a large community, and it's more of them than it is of me. And then I also have children. I also have a staff. Um, so I don't like to pull myself in different directions. So if you need a lot of one-on-ones, like you want a one-on-one at least once a week, I'm not the mentor for you. I
Right.
do a lot of things in group settings so that the community can help one another. And then I also provide you with a lot of information, so at any point that you need the information, you can pull it up on your phone and you'll have the information at your fingertips.
Yeah. That makes perfect sense. I mean, you have to set boundaries, right? Like you can't
Absolutely.
be doing this all day. There's so many people that are doing. So the fact that you can put them all together in a room, even if it's online, and give out this information is pretty amazing. Okay,
I
so
love
oh, did you want to add anything?
No, nothing. If you need more information about HSA, which is Healthcare Student Association, they can follow me on all platforms. It is a monthly subscription of $49 a month. We do meet anywhere from 2 to 3 times a week. I'm sorry, a month. And it's just a great community to be a part of.
Yeah, it sounds like it. I mean, if you're gonna have people from different levels, is that right?
Yeah,
Joining this group. So you can learn like this is where I can be sometime down the road from someone else.
absolutely.
Yeah, because your network is your net worth.
I love it. I love
It
it.
is. It's just amazing. Like people are like, how did you meet this person? How did you meet that? Well, I emailed them. I emailed them and they responded. You never know who you're going to meet. Just the other day, I emailed someone who was doing events, and I'm going to their conference, and there's a lot of health and wellness there, and they're going to have a huge panel. And I'm like, wow, I'm wondering when, the mobile phlebotomists or the IV hydration people of the world might start like their own little events within their community or locally. But it's really inspiring to see like now they're taking all this education and they're having people come from all over the world to come into a room and meet in person.
No, I love it.
And I want to ask you, so what's next for you guys?
Right now, we just want to water our community and build it. And we want to build a community of people that are willing to help one another. We also want to build a network of people that can help our community as well. So we want those mentors that have owned businesses for 5 to 10 years. I'm very particular about who I bring in front of my mentees because they're my responsibility. So I don't bring in what did you call it? It was a cute word. What was it?
I can't remember what
Oh,
what did
you
I
called
say?
it something. It was Kim was like, oh, I never heard that. But we don't bring in the people that don't have a track record of success.
Mm,
We bring in people that we know will take care of our community. And right now, for the next 3 to 5 years, it's just all about how many millionaires can we create? How many six-figure earners can we create? Because when we create women because we target women, we love to help women. When we target these women and we help them grow their businesses, most of these women are moms. So now their children benefit from it.
Yep.
Um, Most of these women are wives, so now their husbands benefit from it. And now they're focusing on their mental health. They're being great partners, they're being great moms. So creating legacies among other families as well.
Yeah. And then speaking on that, because I know somebody who she basically has trouble understanding her finances a little bit. Do you guys talk about money? And I mean, like really just blatant with people, like, okay, this is how much you would earn, this is what it looks like to have an invoice, this is what it looks like. Because for some reason there's a wall, like for a lot of women to talk just freely about money or to talk about like, what do I charge? Is this too much? Because we are all thinking it.
Right. We do talk about pricing because one of the main mistakes that a lot of small business owners make is they don't know profit.
Mm,
So I use something called the 3P method. And with the 3P method, it is, how much did you pay for that particular product, or how much did you invest into yourself to learn that particular service? And then how much do you want to profit from that? A lot of people don't talk enough about the profit margin. And small business owners always used to tell me, like, I'm making money, but I don't see it. You don't see it because you're not making a profit. If an item costs $5 and you are charging $8, but then you have the square fee, then you have another fee, the website fee, you're really not making any money. You didn't make any profit. So that's where we go into the 3P method, even down for services. How long did it take you if you're doing a mobile service, are you charging for mileage? Do you even know how much gas costs your car to take you 25 miles? What apps you can use and help you determine the pricing, because there's apps out there that will tell you like, hey, your car is a Toyota Camry and it took you 13 miles to get here. That's $1.25 a mile, something
right,
of that nature. So we do talk about it. It's very important, but we also talk about unhealthy relationships with money,
right.
emotional spending. I actually have a young lady that she does what is called $0 budgeting. And she comes in, she teaches us how to budget on a $0 balance and what that looks like.
Wow.
Um, and a lot of that is just things that we didn't learn growing up, honestly. And taking that workers mentality into entrepreneurship just won't work.
Yes. Yeah. Well, thank you. That was my last question. Is there anything else you wanted to add? I think that was great. You did a really great job. I was like shooting at these questions and you were like, bam, bam, bam.
No, you're really good at this. No, we pretty much covered everything. I appreciate you for allowing me the space and the time to talk to people, and everything that you're doing with your platform, I genuinely appreciate.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for you and I'm excited for the future. Yeah, definitely. There's going to be so many more collaborations and things that, yeah, look forward to it. So I'm going to let you go then.